quick mini review for you guys. Here I have the Helia Elite and the Helia Pro. Now the Pro is actually the higher end model. The Elite is actually their version of a takedown. But, you know, don't really stress about the details because regardless of what you pay, you're getting two very good boots here. Now, let's look at the Pro first. This is their top end model, and it is their first foray into the speed boot market for Ida. Now, they advertise this as a woman's boot, but, you know, honestly, it doesn't really matter as long as it fits your foot, and we'll go in the fit in a little bit. But again, they're really trying to emphasize this as a woman's fit boot, and thus they're going to try to appeal to that demographic. Now, the biggest part of that fit is that not only are they going to try to shape the boot for a woman's foot, but they're going to have concerns for them with the stud pattern. And if you notice, these studs are very, very short, which is a good thing because you can technically play on this on AG. Now, while they do label this FG-AG, I still think they probably would prefer you use this on FG. But again, the length of the studs being so short means that this definitely could be used on a good AG surface. Take a look at the sole plate and its snapback. It's not overly responsive, but it's decent. It's got a good amount of bite to it in terms of spring back. And again, it's stiff enough and good midfoot stability. And again, these studs are short enough that you will have a good time on most surfaces. Now, gone into the fit of the boot a little bit, let's actually talk about how it fits. Again, they say women's foot or women's fit, but here are the characteristics of this fit that you might want to be aware of, and if that sounds like you, then this will be a very good boot for you. Now, their fit, they say, is a bit wider and more volume in the midfoot, but then a narrower heel. And honestly, they've nailed every aspect of that fit. There is plenty of volume in this forefoot and plenty of width in the toe box area. Now, for example, a traditional men's boot or unisex boot tends to be much more pointy. If you can see with this Hypervenom 2, it has a bit more of a pointed toe box as it kind of goes to a point, right? It's got this kind of point almost right there, and it all kind of slopes in at a very sharp point. Here, it does not have it. It's a very wide and then rounded toe box. And honestly, reminds me of the new Phantom 6. Now, it's still even more wide in that toe box than the Phantom 6. But see how they have just a bit more width in the toe box areas than, say, a traditional men's fitted boot. So you have the width in the toe box, and then you have volume. I mean, look at that volume. That is so much volume on the top of the foot, right at the midfoot area. Way more volume than, say, my favorite boot, the UA Shadow Pro. I mean, that one has almost no volume to it because it just compresses really tight around your foot. Here, you have tons of volume available. Now, it's still not a stiff upper, so it should break in quite nicely. Personally, for my foot, it still was a lot of bunching and creasing here, so I have a low volume foot. Didn't work for me. But if you have a lot of volume in the midfoot especially, might be a boot worth your time if you can fit the rest of it. Speaking of the rest of it, this heel is lovely. I mean, I cannot stress how nice this heel is. And it's the same on both boots, by the way. This heel just, once your foot is in, it just hugs it so securely, you kind of forget about it, which to me is a sign of a really good heel area. Not a lot of padding, but again, the little bit of padding that's there is just there to kind of hug your foot in place, and just a clean, snug fit right there. And that works for me because I have a very narrow heel. Again, they're designing this for a woman's foot in mind, and for them, that is a big toe box, a lot of volume in the midfoot, and a narrow heel. Now, for me in the heel, that worked for me. The rest of the boot did not work for me. So, if this boot sounds like your vibe, then check it out, because the sole plate is decent, the upper is very good, and the fit, if that fits you, could be a game changer. Now, I brought out the Elite as well. Again, I'm going to just go over the differences very briefly. This upper is just a bit more of a thin textile base, and again, just has a little bit more pliability to it. It's very nice. Still has a bit of structure to it, but it's almost like a stiffer speed flow, if you know how great the speed flow is. This one is actually more like a Vapor 14. It's just a little bit more structured with these lines going across horizontally, as opposed to this one where the lines are pretty much just a little bit embossed here and there. You also just get a bit more texture. I found that this texture is a little bit more significant feeling than on the Elite. The Elite, though, again, has that more Vapor 14 feel, and honestly, you might actually prefer it because it just is a bit more structure to the upper. Again, not as soft and pliable, but still pretty fit. And again, both boots fit exactly the same. And again, just a bit more pliable of that upper, as opposed to this a little bit more synthetic. So yeah, I've been very impressed with the Ida, Helia Pro and Elite models. Regardless of the boot you go for, whether it be the Elite or the Pro, you can't go wrong if it fits your foot. And if you find that these fit your feet, I do think this will be a really good pickup for most soccer players. Because again, enough structure here that won't be sloppy, and the upper's pliable that you should be formed to the shape of your foot well enough. And then again, nice natural fit in the toe box could be a game changer for most people. And if the heel fits you, man, you got some really good boots here if it fits your foot. Forgot to mention it, the sole plates on these boots are exactly the same. Doesn't matter if you go for the Elite or the Pro model. Exact same sole plates, which is nice that you still get the high-end sole plate on the takedown or lower end model than the top 10 model. So pretty cool. One quick thing about the insole, a lot of women's fitted boots tend to add arch support. This is just a normal insole. While it is very wide, that just is basically to fill in the hole of the boot. In terms of arch support, you are getting none whatsoever, which personally, as someone who doesn't like arch support, I like that. But preferences are varied, so be aware you might need to replace the insole. So yeah, the Ida Helia, definitely a boot that I think you should check out, especially if you find that most boots don't fit you, especially in the speed boot category.